I have a very beautiful, esteemed panel today, and thank you to Womenpreneur magazine for the opportunity of creating this dais. First up, I'd like to introduce Her Excellency Sheikha Denitsa Al Shanfari, who is a cultural diplomat and a human rights advocate. She is a champion for women's empowerment, education, and diversity. With over a decade in diplomacy and public service, she has advised Bulgaria's Prime Minister on ethnic and integration issues, contributed to the ministry's Human Rights Directorate, and continues to voice Bulgaria on international stages. Let's give her a round of applause. Next up, I have with me the founder and director of ANAX Capital, Tabinda Sanpal. Tabinda is the founder and director of ANAX Capital, a Category A licensed investment and trading firm, a visionary entrepreneur and distinguished financial strategist. She built a strong foundation for her business across UK and now expanded to the UAE. With extensive experience in trading and investments, Tabinda has developed deep expertise in structured financial products, regulatory compliance, and cross-border operations. Let's give her a round of applause. Next up, I have with me jewelry designer and creative director of Shri Ram Jewelers. Meghali is a leading jewelry designer and creative director, carrying forward a 230-year legacy of Shri Ram Jewelers, which is one of Delhi's most distinguished jewelry houses. In just a decade, she has established a distinctive line known for its unique designs, quality craftsmanship, earning recognition at prestigious platforms, including serving as a jury member of the Jewelry Eminence Awards 2022, 23, and 25. A very warm welcome, Meghali. Next up, I have with me the commercial director of Noon, Victoria Holekamp, who leads a dynamic team to drive growth and innovation in the e-commerce sector. With over 15 years of experience in brand management and strategic marketing across reputed names like Johnson & Johnson, Emirates, and now Noon, she's someone who understands what it takes for homegrown brands to build their own identity in this region. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Victoria Holekamp. Say hi, Victoria. And last but not the least, I have with me a leading wellness entrepreneur, a dentist by training, and one of Dubai's most influential women entrepreneurs. With a passion for aesthetics, she has become a sought-after TEDx speaker on beauty, confidence, and empowerment. Beyond her medical career, Dr. Sana is a gifted artist and philanthropist, where through her paintings and her platform, Aleph, she channels proceeds towards thalassemia patients and children with special needs. She is a passionate advocate of Urdu literature and has remarkable contributions to her name, including being titled the most influential women at the Global Women's Conference and other recognitions like the Super 100 Women Achievers in MENA for multiple honors across CSR and women empowerment. Let's give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Avneet, just before you start, you know what, when all these women came on the stage, there was a very different vibe altogether. I know it's the last panel thing for the day. The vibe is very different. The energy is all of a sudden come up right now, But ladies and gentlemen, once again, with all of your heart, wholeheartedly, can you please give a big round of applause for all these empowering women over here, please? A little bit louder. Thank you. Avneet, over to you.
Guys, I think you've been listening to Harry all day, so I think the pump in the air and the energy of the room is probably because there's a different voice. But I think what would make it extremely fun is, all of us are here to learn, right? To get inspired. But it'll truly be fun when we can also hear you guys participate. So now is when I'll say 3, 2, 1, and you're going to, give me the loudest round of applause you have the entire day, right? Are you guys with me? Yes? All right, 3, 2, 1. Superb. So today we're talking about going beyond startups and building global brands, legacies, and influence, right? This is truly a very interesting panel because each of your journeys and what you represent is so unique, right? ANAX Capital, which is a brand that is, across financial advisory, the kind of work that you all are doing, I think is commendable, right? And you've built that, Tabinda. Sana, an expat family coming to, not their home country, building a brand as big as Danube. I'm yet to see something of that stature happen in UAE, right? We have Meghali, who is a creative strategist, a creative director, taking forward a legacy business, and each of you who can address this topic from so many different lenses. So the first thing that I want to ask all of you, right? What does it really take to build a global brand in 2025? If, from your entire experience, what is the first thing that you think now, where social media is so cluttered, it's so difficult to stand out, to get noticed? What do you think is the first step to building a brand that can stand out? Is it working?
Hello?
No?
Is it working? Yeah.
Can we please have all the mics on? Yeah.
Carrying forward a brand which is as old as 230 plus years old, 8 generations now, is not only an honor and privilege, but also a big responsibility. I am sure people who are part of their family business and who are already leading a brand, an established one, that is a bigger responsibility to shoulder because you cannot, if you cannot take it there, you cannot take it there. You have to at least maintain this level or take it up there to much more greater heights. So it is a big responsibility for sure. But having said that, it is an honor and privilege. I am very thankful and grateful to God to be blessed with such an umbrella over my head. And it is Shri Ram Hari Ram Jewelers. It is as old as, I think, it has a great history behind it. We proudly say, so there is a movie in India which is a great 1975 hit. It's called Sholay. I don't know if everyone knows about it, but it has a beautiful ensemble cast of megastars like Amitabh Bachchan and Dharmendra and everyone. So there is a very famous dialogue of that movie, which is spoken by a very great actor by the name of Asrani. He says, "Hum अंग्रेजों के ज़माने के जेलर हैं." And I say, "Hum अंग्रेजों के ज़माने के ज्वेलर हैं," which means that we are jewelers from the time of Britishers and maybe more. So it is a very big history, but when we take it forward, so generations down the line, you bring your own essence to the brand. Every generation, like I'm 7, 8th generation is already on board. So I brought in different ideas, different concepts. We believe in retaining the age-old customs and our traditional values, which is what Shri Ram Hari Ram Jewelers is deeply rooted in. We are known for our credibility, trust, quality, craftsmanship, and honor. We have generations and generations of customers coming to us only because of faith and trust that they have in us. And I am not exaggerating because I'm in this business for last 13 years now. I say I'm a 13-year-old. I'm not as old as I am, but I'm just 13-year-old in this business. So I have actually seen it with my own eyes, people coming to me and telling me the stories of their grandmother's wedding jewelry from us. And not only their grandmothers, but someone else's grandmother's jewelry from us. It feels extremely special.
But Meghali, also tell us that with this 230-year-old legacy brand, right, at one end there is such a deep heritage, but how do you all make sure that it is relevant to today's consumer? So what are some branding strategies, practices that you all undertake to be relevant to today's consumer?
There are strategies. We definitely imbibe what is going on today from the technical points, like, from the machinery, from designing point of view, keeping all the new age stones. So right now, it's the time for color stone jewelry. All the gemstones which were maybe earlier not so relevant are relevant now and are going to be relevant for the coming time as well. And when I'm talking about gemstones, I'm not talking about just emeralds and rubies and sapphires, especially the blue sapphire. I'm talking about all colors in sapphires, in amethyst, like amethyst and tourmalines, every gemstone. Right now, that it is that. So I keep those designs in mind. We all keep that. We follow the trend, and we're trying to incorporate that thing in our jewelry. The ideas, the designing, the demands of the market, as well as keeping up with the social media and exhibitioning ourselves and our brands, positioning it. That's how.
Super. Thanks for sharing, Meghali. I think I want to come to Tabinda, right? Tabinda, you are, at the helm of ANAX Capital. Firstly, investments and finances are traditionally a very male-dominated field, right? In that, having your own organization and building that as a brand in a market like Dubai, right? Which comes with its own intricacies. Talk to us a little bit about how you built ANAX Capital into a renowned and trusted brand.
So first of all, I would like to take a moment to celebrate Emirati Women's Day, how Emirati women have shined globally through their intelligence, success, and determination. Now, going back to your question, how ANAX Capital was built, it wasn't built overnight, of course. It took us several years. It's a result of many years of strategic planning, market study, and a commitment to bring the best financial service for our clients and the tools. So the company it holds a Category A license, which is regulated by the SCA UAE. It's a distinction, of course, and not easy to obtain. So that defines our market integrity, client trust, and of course, clients' trust comes first for us, and that we do by putting our clients first. What was your question again?
Mainly how you did that.
So how I did that, I was working in the financial markets back in the UK, and I always had a dream. I always wanted to explore new opportunities, but I always had a dream to open my own company one day, which would not have been possible today without the support of my husband, Satish Sanpal. He's supported me throughout my journey, and he believes in empowering women. So I feel very proud of where I am today, and it's certainly not a women's field to be in. When I was working in the UK, it was very male-dominating, the way they swear and on the phone. It's a very rough market. But I'm very proud to be here today, and I think I would tell all ladies to make investments and I think sign up for a demo account in our company, and we have the best tools.
Thanks, Tabinda. Thank you for sharing. Sana, let me come to you. You're also the architect of words, right? You're someone who follows... I've seen a lot of your content and how beautifully you speak and write. And with the work that I do at Encubay, very often we see businesses that cannot tell a story. And there's a quote that goes that people don't buy products and services, they buy stories that connect with them. So what do you think? I know that you've also been a female entrepreneur and you do so many other things, right? When it comes to brands and storytelling, what is an insight, what is a tip that you'd like to share with us?
So first of all, I want to say we should give it to Avneet. She's a fabulous person and she is the founder of Encubay along with one of her partners. I have met her and I've had interactions with her. She is one person you want to be in touch with. So thank you, Avneet, and thank you for hosting everything here. The question today is, how do we build a brand and how do we sustain it? Is that what we want to highlight over here? So brand as a word encompasses so many things. But your question itself had an answer where a brand tells a story. You know, and unless you have a story, you cannot have a brand. So our family legacy at the moment is Danube, which was built by Rizwan Sajan. It is a story which is now encrusted into 33 years of trust, where it started with building materials, good quality, and then the famous 1% payment plan, which has really brought forward the truth and making the dreams of people of owning a house a reality. You know, so that's the story that we bring forward. And unless you have a story, you cannot have a brand. This is what I believe. With time, of course, it puts in the right nails to make it stronger and stronger. And how do we sustain it? By being truthful to who you are. So as you say, people do not buy a product, they buy the story behind it. If you are connected with your story, it doesn't necessarily have to be to be honest, it's amazing to have a legacy, for example, 100, 200 years old, or for me, it is 33 years old over here. But even if you are a 1-year-old brand, when you are true to it, when you put your spirit into it, it will succeed.
Thanks, Anna. Guys, I want to know how many of you are entrepreneurs in the room. Hands up. Can we see them higher? Lots and lots of entrepreneurs in the room, all right? Super. I also want to come to Victoria at this point, right? Victoria, you're the commercial director at Noon. Noon, which is a homegrown brand, right? Today, it competes with the likes of Amazon, right? So firstly, talk to us a little bit about, and you are a brand marketing strategist yourself. You worked with Emirates, with Johnson & Johnson, with Target, and you have exposure to all these international geographies. Talk to us about how you see the branding and marketing landscape in the Middle East, and what has Noon specifically done to stand out against, competitors like Amazon?
Absolutely, thank you. Look, I think the space here, brands are their stories, and they are told to humans. Humans are universal, so I think how you build a brand here is the same way you'd build a brand anywhere. And specifically, this kind of the Noon brand, or how we've seen it and how we've tried to build it. It starts with a customer. You have to. There has to be a need. You need to fill a need, to solve a problem, and do it in a different way, in a memorable way. So I think, for Noon, what's different about Noon, we are from this region, we are for this region, and Noon can compete with global behemoths because this is our only job. We only care about this region. We only care about these consumers, and our full focus is on businesses in this region, customers in this region, people, humans in this region. And we've stayed true to that purpose. We're from this region and for this region, and that's kind of fueled what we're trying to do. And we want to know our customers. We want to know what they want and how to solve that. And for us, it was that people wanted remarkable service. They wanted to know when their delivery was coming and for it to come then, and for it to be easy, and to find the products that they wanted. And that's, when I think about the Noon brand, we've expanded it beyond just e-commerce as a core. There's so much more. It's really a family of brands now, but they hold true a consistent purpose, and that's how we've built that brand. And I think you do have to stand out. You have to be memorable, and I think that's part of the fun that I've been able to have in my journey at Noon. And yellow was not a mistake. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't someone's favorite color. It was purposeful, and we've purposely used every space possible to be a billboard so that that yellow is seen everywhere. When you're driving home, when you're stopped at a light, what surrounds you, right? You remember yellow, you see it on the billboards, you see it on the buildings, and it stands out on your phone. You know, open your phone, which app do you see easily? Nuns. So we purposely wanted to be different and remarkable, and we kept it very simple. The very beginning campaigns were, you know, we said what we did. We're noon.com. You know, we educated people that we are an e-commerce company, and we had very simple stuff. Need it? Noon it. Very simple, very straightforward, very easy, very accessible. So I would say if a brand wants to build itself, what's your need gap? What are you trying to solve? How are you helping your customer? And sell that, not your product. Sell the solution, and do it memorably.
Thanks,
You know
Victoria.
what? She is saying so well. I believe what you're saying is true because I've seen it. Sometimes my chef from the kitchen takes longer, but Noon delivers in 10 minutes. It's true. So I love this brand. So well done.
Thanks, Victoria. You know what I'm taking away from that is no matter what you're building, it's about finding one thing that can stick in people's mind. In your case, it was yellow, right? The other thing you said, if you need it, noon it. There's a pun on that sentence. So kudos. Thank you for sharing that. I want to come to Denitsa, and I want to pivot this conversation a little, right? Today, we live in a time where, I mean, yes, there are brands that have a story, but today, personal branding, we see so many businesses where it is the founder or it is the ambassador that people associate with, right? It is their personal brand that becomes the torch or the magnet for people to want to engage with that brand. So firstly, I want to come to Denitsa, because Denitsa, you've just taken it to a whole different level, at a country level, making Bulgaria stand out as a cultural diplomat, and you're leveraging your personal brand. And you were telling me about your story. So talk to me a little bit about how can personal branding, how has that helped you as a part of your diplomatic journey, and how do you leverage the same today?
Good evening to all the Wonder Women in this room, and to the kind gentlemen who are patiently listening to us. I would like to say that I'm very happy and honored to stand beside these beautiful ladies, symbol of a transformation. And right back to your question, through my entire career as a diplomat, it was never about my personal achievement. I have always been breaking ceilings for the others. Because, to my own opinion, is when you leave the legacy behind you, it's not just reaching a certain place, but opening the doors for the others to come. Because I like to say that legacy is not only one successful story. It is all of us together, not as individuals, but as together, being together, standing right together.
Denitsa, tell us about soft power, right? Today you do so much work around fashion and art and using those mediums as well as a medium to connect with others. So talk to us a little bit about how you're using personal branding and cultural, nuances to build your diplomatic career.
Well, as we all know, today in this room we have, I would like to point out to the ambassador of Romania, which is very strong and empowered lady, and also very nice neighbor of Bulgaria. She knows very well that it's not an easy path to build a diplomatic career. And in my personal legacy, what I want to be, of course, every diplomat dreams of becoming an ambassador. This is the highest level of the hierarchy you can reach in your entire career. But in my personal dream is just to be the ambassador of the possibilities for the generations to come. And building personal brand, it's all about, as Dr. Sana mentioned, is all about the story. behind you, owning your own authenticity and never shy away of who you are.
Thank you, Denitsa. Sana, let's come back to you. I want to delve a little deeper into your journey as a woman. And I always talk to you about this, right? Where coming from such an influential family, people might think you've had it easy, right? They might think that there's a red carpet. I'm sure there is. But at the same time, there is that much of a responsibility of you having your own identity, your own narrative, leading all that responsibility and holding on to who you are as a person.